building endurance, anything, it's going to take consistent action. So motivation without action is awfully fleeting, you know?
Right. Oh man, it sure is. Been there. And getting people to get there too, or motivating them too. You're like, it's right in front of you. Just go for it. Just walk out the door.
It's funny. The question or the struggle comes down to, is the pain of being where you are greater than the risk of what you see potentially happening if you go after what you want to go for? So wherever the pain's the greatest is usually kind of where you go the opposite way of, you know? So for a lot of people, they're like, oh, I'm stuck in this job. It drives me crazy because you're not stuck in the job. Just quit. Oh, I can't do that. Yeah, you can. We're so good at telling ourselves what we can and can't do. Do you know how many people I've met that say, I can never do the entrepreneurship thing. What about taxes and insurance? You pay them and you just buy insurance. Well, it's not that easy. No, it really is. It's really that easy.
Right.
Like if people would just like, if you and I were in prison for life and we couldn't leave our cell, we never got to see anybody, our situation's a little different because we physically can't leave our environment. For most of us, most people listening, that's not the case. So if you don't like your circumstances, whether it's life or business, change them.
I agree. You got me. Change is good. Change is scary, but typically it's usually good. You
know what my litmus test is for change or risk? What's the worst that can happen? It's a question I always ask myself.
Yes.
The answer is not bankruptcy or death. Like, what are we holding back for? Let's go.
I like it. So what motivates you to keep moving forward and helping others and doing what you do?
I just understand that life's precious. I got really, really sick last year. My appendix ruptured in my sleep, and I was in trouble for a few days with infection and everything. And I just realized that nobody knows how much time we have, right? I'm never satisfied with anything I do. I look at my business, look at my journey, and I feel like I've accomplished nothing. Not because I'm a internal pessimist or anything, but because I know what's possible. In the scheme of what I want to do, I've accomplished nothing. So for that reason, I'll never stop. I'll never be one of those older folks who just sits on the front porch and enjoys his days. Not going to happen. So I'm just very naturally internally motivated by internal factors. I don't really need external motivation at all. So it's, I know that's not everybody. I know that's not necessarily normal, but I'm just like, hey, if I can get more done, make a bigger impact today than I did yesterday, that's enough for me.
That's cool. That's awesome. And that kind of sounds like it's your why as well, what motivates you and gets you going.
Oh, yeah. Yep. If I can impact, what I focused on is entrepreneurs, other businesses. If I can help them, their mindset, their marketing, and their motivation, then maybe I can make their experience a better one as well.
Cool. Do you see any other books coming out in the near future?
It's really weird that you ask that. I was actually telling my wife yesterday, I said, I think book number 2 might be brewing a little bit. So I think next time it's going to be more focused on marketing and how I approach marketing. There's a million marketing books out there. So I want to be careful to make sure that it's evergreen content. So I've got a couple ideas, but I definitely feel more books in me for sure.
Sweet. And then, so there are a couple other businesses out there that do somewhat similar to what you do. What makes yours the one to go with? Like, why do I call Jason?
It's an interesting question because I was on a podcast like this. I'm curious to see what you'll think about this. And it was maybe 18 months ago, something like that. And there was 2 hosts, and we got off the air. Recording stopped. One of the hosts said, "Hey, I don't want to burst your bubble, but you'll never make it." I was like, I'll never make what? He's like, "You'll never survive in your business." I was like, "Why would you say that?" He said, "You know how many digital marketers they're out there?" I said, "Probably a lot." I said, "I don't pay attention to my quote unquote competition. I don't feel my competition. I never will." And the guy's like, "Yeah, good luck." And onward and upward ever since then. But I think I'm the differentiator there. People come to me with very specific needs. I niche down by platform more than I do with industry. It's very unique like that. But my ability to connect with people, explain things in a language I understand, and, do what we do is very, very good. So I've got a great amount of social proof out there. And I honestly chase no business. It all comes to me. I spend no money on advertising for business. So I've built a machine that I can't wait to show that guy that said I'll never make it someday when it's a household name. So honestly, I don't worry about my competition does. I don't feel the effect of them at all.
Nice. That's kind of douchebaggy to say.
It is.
Why would you tell someone they'd never make it?
Because maybe it makes him feel better. I really have no idea. It was super strange. And we were on video, so I was like looking at this guy like, what, do you feel better? Like, what's that all about? It's really weird. So, yeah.
Yikes.
Totally not normal, is it?
No. And it's like, it's people like that I'm just like, really? What have you tried? Like, how have you progressed? Like, what you doing? Don't tell me I won't make it. I'm going to make it. In my head, I'm already there.
Yeah, Frank Sinatra said it best. The best revenge is massive success.
Yes.
I love it.
I love it. So how do we find you?
Yeah, if you're curious to see what we are up to, you can go to intentionallyinspirational.com. Check out everything we're up to.
Nice. I had said when I first started recording that this was a selfish one. This is for me. And you definitely, not that I had was giving you pre-expectations, but it definitely did. I needed a motivated reminder today as I go through my journey as an entrepreneur. So thanks.
Yeah, no problem at all. I'm just going to kind of flip the position here for a moment. What are you going after? What are you aspiring to do?
I think too much at one time, but the one project I'm working on right now is changing my company from a dance company into a production company.
Okay, nice.
And reaching out there just because I have a lot of artists, DJs in my community base that I've sent out on jobs just for, hey, yeah, I know someone that's a DJ, that kind of thing.
Yep.
And I want to be able to impact people. So with that, being able to have a team of motivational speakers to go ahead and branch out and impact.
Nice.
Yeah, a lot.
What's the toughest part of that for you so far?
Honestly, the toughest part of it is the transition and me knowing where, essentially putting it in stone where I want to go.
Yeah.
And then tacking on and seeing what not venues now since we're all virtual, but what are people going to come to? What do they want to see? What do they want to hear? Mm-hmm.
Baby steps, my friend. You know what's funny about progress is, maybe it's just me, but I'll share it in case it affects you or anybody else listening. But if I don't stop once in a while and look back to see where I've come from, I don't appreciate where I am. It's really easy on the journey to lose track that you're actually making forward progress sometimes,
Oh, I like that. For me, it's nothing's happening. And everyone around me is like, what do you mean? You just put on a show. What do you mean nothing's happening? You're not getting any progress. And I'm like, oh, no, it's not enough. I gotta do more.
Yep. That funny, Les Brown said something that stuck with me a lot, especially when I was getting started. He'd always say, like, how is none of your business? He would always say, like, how is this thing going to turn into full time? Like, when am I going to get, traction and all that? And then one thing I kind of morphed off of that was, when is none of your business as well? And what that means to me is that I used to create these arbitrary timelines. Hey, this is going to happen in 3 months, or this is going to happen in a year. But so much of that is unknown. It could happen so much faster and oftentimes so much slower. So you have to be doing something that you can sustain, really out of passion to stay with it and stay with it in the right headspace,
I like that. Yeah, I definitely know. I'm always so stuck on like a day, like this has to happen then, or this has to happen in this time frame, which gives me the own anxiety of it all. But that's actually, I like
Sometimes
that.
What I do is I use Evernote, and I'll just use like the little check note feature, and I'll just make like, what are 5 things, and you can do less, 3 things. What are 5 things I can do today to make forward progress towards my goals? And some days are going to be better than other, right? We're humans, things come up, but as long as you can keep getting little daily wins, that gives you the momentum and the energy needed to keep moving forward. So many
Nice.
people
That's
set
actually
these goals for themselves, right? So say in your case, it's like this is going to open by October 1st. And then when it doesn't happen, even though you may have accomplished a ton, you're going to call it a loss instead of celebrating all the wins along the way. Just a slight perspective shift.
Yeah, that's 100%. I would call it a loss. But I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, I challenge you to go for those daily wins and see if that helps keep momentum going for you.
Nice. Challenge accepted. Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on and talking with me and giving me like a coaching session. That was great.
No problem at all.
All right, Jason, thanks for coming on. I will talk to you soon.
All right, thank you.
I just got like a quick coaching session by Jason Wright. It's what I needed. I said it from the beginning. This is going to be a selfish episode, and it was. Look up Jason Wright. He's great. I loved our conversation. Most likely we'll be having more with him. I'm your host, Rakshana. Today's guest was Jason Wright. Be sure to tune in each week for a new episode. And remember, everything and anything goes. The sky is the limit.
Music for the Things of That Nature podcast is an original track brought to you by Jared Sacramento called Dosage.